So, I'm faced with a bit of an ethical dilemma. I'm not feeling very well. I have not. It's, a week ago, like I said, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was told by this attorney that he had, without consulting me, without coordinating with me, that I had to appear the next morning at 9 a.m. in court to hear this motion. I told him I was unable to do so because of the very important meetings I had with doctors regarding my father's care, as well as other responsibilities I had at the hospital with my father. He refused. In fact, when I told him that legally and ethically,
continue on US 17 north
he
for
not
1
only
mile.
would not, but could not have gotten away with that treatment of an opposing counsel, and his response to me was that since I'm not counsel, he doesn't have to treat me with the same standards. But he then reset the hearing twice, again without consulting me, and I'm now having to come this week, this morning. I've written a lengthy, detailed, but actually fairly brief for me, and from what I originally planned, response supporting the motion to withdraw, but basically correcting the motion the attorney filed, which was based upon a misrepresentation of facts and therefore false statements. I put in the record a sufficient number of true statements that establish an actual conflict that should remove him, and the judge should appoint conflict counsel. But I'm speaking here for two reasons. I don't have any faith in the court, and if you don't hear from me sometime this afternoon, I hope people will give calls to Professor Joe Little at the Law School at the University of Florida and elsewhere to find out about my whereabouts. But my instinct would be
in a quarter mile, turn left onto Bush Boulevard.
To argue strongly for sanctions to be brought against this office
Turn left onto Bush Boulevard.
and these individual attorneys today before the court, because what they are doing in my case, telling me that they get to dictate to me, I have no say in the preparation or the objectives or the strategy of my defense. I just get to show up when noticed, and they make all the decisions, which was not acceptable to me. But they're doing this to all indigent defendants, which is why most of them never see justice, especially if they're innocent and charged, as I am in this case. I feel a moral obligation to make that argument before the court and to get those sanctions, because this is a harm to the public, and people who know me know that I, often to my personal detriment, take that obligation seriously. My personal interest probably suggests that I should speak very little today. Simply say I support
in 800 feet,
the motion
your destination will be on the left,
based upon my response, and want conflict counsel appointed, and not get into all of those other facts. And if it was just me personally,
your destination is on the left.
I probably wouldn't do that. But I have my father to worry about, to care about. I have to be there for him in the hospital. I have to ensure he gets his proper medical care. I am his primary caretaker, and hopefully sometime around Thanksgiving and maybe before Christmas get him home, where we will be continuing therapy and treatment, both in-home and outpatient. He's learning to walk, at least with assistance right now with a walker. And we're trying to get his hands functional, and in particular his right arm moving. And I can't afford to sacrifice his dependence on me, his only relative that's able to do this. I mean, it's really just me and him now that my mother passed away. And I've promised both the public and my father that I will do everything in my power to ensure that he has a quality of life and an excellent and happy life for his remaining years, which should be quite lengthy. And that from now on, that is my #1 priority. So I apologize. I'm going to have to put that interest above what I believe is necessary for the public interest, at least for today. But I promise that when the opportunity rearises, when this matter is under control, that I will do everything in my power to expose not just this fraudulent hospital who caused this, but and not just the police who acted inappropriately and unlawfully, but to bring sanctions, whether it be a reprimand, which at least would do something, but in some cases should, in my belief, go to actual disbarment, or some other strong sanction against particular individuals in this office of the Public Defender of the 18th Circuit of Florida, which is Seminole and Brevard counties. I'm here in Seminole in the notorious Sanford, where the courts ruled that it was legal to murder a young black man who went to the store to get some Skittles and iced tea. But I will take the appropriate steps at some point, both with the court and with the bar and any other agency, to bring sanctions against the particular attorneys who have been most directly involved, as well as the two superiors, one guy named Mr. Dowdy, and the other, the elected public defender, Blaze Tredis, who actually, I posted a few videos, and if you watch, you will see this was a man who ran for public defender on a platform that the prosecutors run on. And this office it's sort of like a dual prosecution. Many public defenders offices, because of the nature of how we underfund the public defenders, give unlimited resources to the state prosecutors, and allow police to make false arrests and false charges, and basically prosecute every case that's ever brought, leading to a very perverted system in which if you are guilty of a crime, the outcome is likely going to be beneficiary for you. You may get off, but at the very least you'll probably serve some penalty or sentence much less than actually fit the crime. But if you are innocent, you are going to serve some penalty, and you will be punished, and you will not have a chance to prove your innocence or have justice. And this is a systemic problem in Florida But what I've discovered about this 18th Circuit here in Seminole and Brevard counties is that it is egregious. So it's my public apology that I have to try my best to keep as quiet as possible about that, although I will have to counter any false statements that the prosecutor may make. I hope the judge doesn't give him the opportunity, and I hope he plays this simple, although he will be on the defensive since I've exposed wrongdoing in my response, which actually constitutes a conflict, whereas what he argued doesn't constitute a conflict, and therefore should legally have been denied, except for the fact that it did imply that there was something behind the scenes that was a conflict, which, as I've done, I've exposed. And also, if by the late afternoon people have not heard from me, I hope people will call Professor Joe Little at the University of Florida Law School, 352-273-0954, and let him know that something's gone wrong. I have been arrested in courtrooms before, dragged out, or just, pounced on, or trapped. And I don't know what's going to happen. I have no faith or trust in the Florida courts and the judiciary, let alone law enforcement. I do think this judge, from my limited experience, is not a bad judge. I think he is a reasonable judge. I think he demonstrates a respect for the law and a respect for the both the rights and the interests of the accused. But what the public defender has done is put me in a place where the judge can get the wrong impression of me. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I will try and report back. So I hope people will pay attention. Thank you, and I apologize that I can't at this time do what my principle says, and to the best of my ability address the wrongdoings by the public defender, which are not just in my case, but are negatively impacting every indigent defendant, which are most defendants in Florida, and denying them justice. But in the interest of my father, I have to temper that and try and address that another day. Makes me sick, as you can see, but that's what I'm about to try and do. So I hope to see you guys soon.